Yes, yeah.
Yeah, we can start.
Okay. Yes, 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 yeah. Okay, so can you quickly introduce about yourself regarding your project, your technical skills, roles and responsibilities?
Okay, sure. So my total years of experience is 10 years, mainly into front-end development. Of that 6 years, I worked on the mainly Vue.js or React.js kind of project. Previously that I just worked on the HTML, CSS and JavaScript basic website creation. Currently I'm working in the based out of Pune location. Previously that I worked on IBM and I worked at firstcry.com as well. Uh, my last project was into Vue.js, but as this role is regarding the React.js, so I will explain my React.js project that was I did in the IBM. So that was 1 year back. So that was related to financial need analysis application. So basically, it was for the one of the Singapore client insurance company. So that application was for to collect the user data from a user and feed it into the server. So when user has to purchase some insurance from that insurance company, uh, they have to collect too much of data, all about it financial and personal data. So that application was built for that thing. So it was built using React. Basically, it's merge stack application, React, Node, Express, and MongoDB. So my role was into that was a front end development. I handled many modules there. It was a form-based architecture. So many level of forms were there. So I handled uh, one of the module. I mean, not one of the, but many module. One after one. I was in that project for a long term, like 3 years. I was into that project. So that was the my recent project.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, fine, Amit. Okay, what is your relevant experience in React.js?
React just 6 years.
6 years. So,
Yeah.
okay, total how many projects you have done in React?
2 to 3, you can say. I mean, one large project I did that was mentioned, and previously I did a kind of one of it was Intellit or school when I was in the first try. So there I handled 2 3 projects that was into React, but those were relatively small projects. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Okay, yes, yeah,
yeah,
okay.
and
So
yeah,
total, yeah, sorry, yeah,
yeah, and from last 1 year I am working on the Vue.js, so I know
views.
Vue.js as well. Yes.
Mhm. So total how many people you are working in the current project, and what is your current project roles and responsibilities?
Yeah, so current project, as I mentioned, it was a Vue.js project. The project was about the anti-money laundering reporting tool. So when it was meant for the bank use of bank. So when bank people find there are some transactions which are related to anti-money laundering, so they have to report it to the government. It was for the Canada government. So I worked into that project, and that was again also form-based application. Too many forms and too many like you can say tabs. Each tab will contain some transaction data and the user data. That kind of flow was there. My role was that again it was a front-end developer role. It was 4 people. What I can say, 4 people team. Two front-end development, one back-end, and one architecture. Basically, to monitor like project manager or something like. So my role was again it was a front-end development.
Okay, Amit.
Yeah.
Okay, Amit. Fine, fine. Good, very good. Yes, yeah, okay. Okay, so Amit, can you tell me, as your
Mm.
experience, okay,
Mhm.
what you have seen the difference between a single page application
Mhm.
and a multi-page application?
So single page application is when you have multiple pages, but everything is loading in the single page. That page is itself is not reloading. That we do in the advanced libraries like React and Vue.js or Angular. So even if you say YouTube is we can call a single page application, or Gmail is a single page application. So whenever we go on any route, a user will see it. User will see or user will feel that it is going to some other pages, but technically it is just loading in a single page. We are handling it with the routing. So that is single page, and multi-page means
Mm.
we create separate pages for each. That was done previously with the plain JavaScript. So every time we click on any link, it will re-render whole page and go to a new page. So that was a multi-page.
Okay, so can you tell me what are the major advantages and disadvantages of the React.js?
Okay, React is a component based. Its a main advantage is it's component based, like other Vue.js and Angular. But also React is a lightweight library if you compare it to the Angular, because in Angular, if you install Angular, it's a huge bundle size. It will come with its route and other libraries like state management. But with React, if you install just React, it will not install some other libraries. You can add it as a separate library, but main React is a lightweight. Compared to Angular, React learning curve is also easy. I mean, to learn React, it's easy for a new user and to start with the project. So it's easy to get started and create POCs in React. Other than that, it
Mhm.
has some ecosystem. I mean, every kind of application you can build, like e-commerce or any banking application or any simple website also you can create with the React. Also, if you are creating small application, you don't have to create a React as a npm project. You can just simply add a React as a script, and you can just create a simple small 2-3 pages website kind of thing in React. So different kind of projects can be built with the React. So those are the main advantages. Cons, as I say, React is evolving too fast. So if you learn one version and if you build some features into that, there will be new version as it has a big ecosystem. New updates are coming after every 3 months. So migration have to do each and every time. And some feature that you build or some some keywords or that you use features that might be discontinued. Not every, but some might be discontinued. So you have to keep updating the React application. So that is the one corner I can see.
Mhm, 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 mhm. Okay, so can you tell me React.js is a one-way data flow or it's a two-way data flow? One-way data binding or it's a two-way data binding?
It's a one-way data binding, but we can do a two-way data binding in that as well. But by default, it's a one-way data
Can you
binding.
tell me? Yes, fine, good. Can you tell me how we can make it as a two-way data binding?
So we have to like in form, for example, when user is typing something, we have to attach it to the its model or its state basically. So that is done as a two-way data binding. So on enter or input event we have to capture, and from that we bind it to the state and we update the state value. So that way it is done as two-way data binding.
Mhm. Okay, so what is the difference between real DOM and virtual DOM?
Okay, so real DOM is the DOM structure that is loaded into the browser, all from HTML tag to its div, all the input or li, whatever tags are loaded in the browser. So that is a real DOM. And virtual DOM is basically what React creates behind the scenes. So it's a copy of actual virtual DOM, and it is created to check what are the basically changes need to be done. Rather than doing it on the real DOM, it will check it on the virtual DOM. So it's a
Mhm.
behind the scene and copy of a real DOM.
Okay, right. Okay, right. Okay. What are the key difference between functional component and a class component?
Okay, so class component was the previous to React 16, I guess. So before React 16, there was a class component. So basically, those are created using the keyword as class. So in JavaScript, we have class as one feature. So using that, we create a class-based component. But after React 16, React introduced the functional-based component. So functional-based component is a simple function on itself, but it has enhanced with some React feature. Like we can use React hooks, multiple React hooks, and we can return a React function basically. So function basically component created with the function structure is called as function, and function component created with the class structure is called as a class structure, class-based components.
Mhm, 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 mhm. Okay. Okay, Amit. So large React components. So that re-renders frequently to improve performance.
So as I said, if the function is basically functional, or if the component is functional based component, even
Mm-hmm.
in class based component also we use a technique called memoization. So basically what
Mm.
it does, in every component we see there are some props are passed. Depend on the props only the component will re-render. I mean, if prop value is changing, the component will re-render, or if state value
Mm.
is changing. So mostly depend upon the props. So what happens if we do memoize the component? What happens if even the prop is not changing? If we don't use memo, then what happens if even the prop is not changing, but its parent is changing? Still, all its child component will re-render unnecessarily. So that's why React has introduced memoization, which is done using React.memo. So when we create a component, we wrap it under the React.memo. So because of that happens, even if the parent component changes, but its props, I mean the child components props are not changing. So it will not re-render it. So that's how the React memo optimizes the re-rendering. So there are less number of re-renders, so that way the application will be fast in performance.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Um, I have one question. Here I just open code editor. I
Yeah.
think it's visible to you, right?
Yes.
Code editor. So I just paste one code. Yeah, a question to you. Can you
Mhm.
explain the difference between a var, let, and a const, and when to use each in JavaScript? Can you explain one by one with an example for each?
Okay. Okay. Let me first explain it theoretically, and then I will write one example. So basically,
Sure.
where is used in ES5 version of JavaScript. So there is a ES latest one is ES6. So in that let and const are declared basically. So what is the main difference there is, where is a global scope. So whenever we declare a variable with the where, it will go into the Windows object. So the main object is Windows object in the in JavaScript. So it will basically directly goes into that and saved into that. But with the let and const, it will not saved into the global object. So um, all three are hosted. There is a concept called as hosting. So all three are hosted. But with the variable declared with the var, we can access it before its declaration. But in case of let and const, if you try to access it before its declaration, it will give an error, reference error. So that way, this is the main difference. So let me write one example over here.
Mhm.
So this is I'm declaring with the var, and if I try to console over it here before its declaration, so this will basically not give an error. Can I run it like this here?
You can write the example one by one.
Okay,
Don't need to run
okay,
anything. You
okay,
can
okay.
write
I
the
will
example
just
one by
okay. So here what I'm doing, I'm declaring var a with the var keyword. So here I'm trying to access it before its declaration on line number 3. So basically it will print 10. But if the same I did with the
one. Mm.
let b is equal to 10, and if I try to access it same over here b, basically it will give a reference error. It will give an error that you are trying to access b before its declaration, and same with the const as well. Again, so if I try to access it, it will give the same error. One more difference in where let and const is, const means basically constant value. You cannot change it later on. But with where and let, you can change the value of it later on as well. That is no issue. But const means constant, so you cannot change the value. So those are the main differences.
Mhm, 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 mhm. Can you write a little more the code?
Okay. Any more difference? Let me think. Okay, so as I mentioned, basically A is stored in the Windows object. So Windows is a global object basically. So what I will do, if I try to console log window dot A and window dot B. So what it will do, window.a will be printed as 10 because where, as I mentioned, will stored into the window object. But
Mm.
let is not stored directly into window. It will go into the temporal dead zone. Basically, React has some memory location which is called as temporal dead zone. Not React, JavaScript. So if output for this will be undefined because it is not present in the window object. Also, one more thing is variable declared with where we can directly access with this. So if I do this dot a, it will again same print as 10 because with this keyword we can access the value of a.
No, I mean, you can write the code how will be execute. Don't need to explanation. Can you write
Okay.
the code for where let and const? Yeah, go for it.
Okay, I have already written. I mean, we can directly run it and it will print what I'm explaining.
Okay, then you can share me your screen and can you open any online
Hmm.
JavaScript compiler and run
Okay.
that one and show me
Okay.
what you have
Let
written,
me
what
check
it will
where I
do there.
can share. Okay.
There is share options there.
Okay,
Yeah.
I can see.
Share
Yes.
yours.
You can see the
Yes,
screen,
you
right?
can open. Yeah. Yes.
So let me
Okay.
copy all the code directly. Should I run it directly to see the output?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, as I mentioned to you, B is declared
Hmm.
with where. So, but we are accessing it previous, I mean, before its declaration. So that's why
Hmm.
it is giving reference error. So that what I mentioned over here, reference error cannot access B before initialization.
Hmm.
So that was my point. Let me just remove it from here to run it. Again for same for C as well, which is declared with const, it will give the same reference error. So you can see what I mentioned here is same giving the same error. So let me continue it. Window dot. Okay, let me do this. Uh, Define it. Windows object. It's not defined. I guess I mean I'm not sure about this, but it's not giving the expected output what I was expecting. So yeah, I want to conclude my answer, but I'm not sure. Let me try with this dot a. Okay, this dot a is again undefined. Okay, then I'm now got confused about this, and but yeah, but the main difference I would mention that regarding the hosting, that I'm still clear. But yeah, about this window and this not clear.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yes. So, Amit, can you tell me how would you structure a semantic HTML for a complex web page to improve accessibility and SEO?
Okay. So basically, semantic structure means you have to use the latest tags given by HTML5 version. So before in
Mm-hmm.
HTML, there was tags, mainly div tag only was there and basic HTML tag. But in HTML5, they have provided some more tag which will just by tag name you will understand why it is used. So there is a header tag, there is a footer tag, there is a article tag. So by these, you will know that these tags are particularly used for this functionality and are more useful for the basically SEO purpose. and accessibility. For accessibility means when a person who is totally, I mean, uh, like disabled person, or if person is not able to get the what you are trying to convey with your web application. So any person should be able to use that your application. So that's those features are called an accessibility feature. So there should be a read out loud feature, or should be there. Or if you keep pressing tab, the mouse is not available, but you with the and there is a form, with help of tab key, you should be traverse to all of the what you say, all form pages. So that functionalities are called as basically accessibility. So to improve that, first I will explain about the SEO. Using the semantic tags is the main, providing all the alternate, like for example, there is an image you are using, and for some reason that image is not loading. You have to provide the alt word there, alt attribute there, and explain what are the content of that image. So by that reading, even if the image is not loading, by reading of that description, user will know that this kind of images will be there. So that is called as accessibility. One more function is adding the loader. For example, the web internet is slow for the user, and your pages keep showing just loading icon. So rather than loading icon, you can show the skeleton component over there. So by that, user will not leave your application, and he will stay for there and will wait for some time to load it. So those are kind of things you have to manage. One more thing in SEO, in our HTML page, basically, we have to write a meta tags. So for those are basically present in header. So meta tags will describe what is your content of your page. So if your web application is related to some banking, or website is some related to banking, or some social media, so the content of the application has to be present in the meta tags. So user will or the search engine, basically not the user, those are for the search engine. So search engine will rank your website to the top in the search result. So that way you will get a more traffic. So that's the basically use of the what we say SEO. Using the semantic tags is basically again help with the search engine. Basically search engine, basically what does Google or other search engine, they traverse through your all the code when the web page is loading. So that time if they find an article tag, or they find an footer tag, so they will know that this is particularly a part this part of this web application. So that way it will
Yeah.
help you to rank the web application. Regarding accessibility, as I mentioned,
Amit,
yeah,
fine, fine,
yeah,
enough.
okay,
Okay,
sorry,
okay, okay. There is a lot of explanation, real.
okay,
We have a lot of questions.
yeah, yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Okay, okay.
But I was able to clear my point, yeah,
Mhm.
okay, got it.
Okay. Okay, so can you tell me how would you implement responsive
Mhm.
mobile first layout without using external frameworks like Bootstrap?
Mhm. Okay, so basically
Hmm.
mobile first application means writing the CSS for the mobile one first, and later in media queries you write for the large desktop. So that approach is called as basically mobile first. So the root
Hmm.
the base CSS there to write is for the mobile. You develop it for the mobile. The width and height basic that you give is for the mobile size, and later in the media queries you write the CSS for the large screens. So that is mobile first.
Hmm. 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 Okay. How would you ensure UI consistency and maintainability when you are working on a large scale front end application?
UI consistency means the design throughout the all the application that you are mentioning.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so to keep the look and feel of the application throughout the page, what you write the base CSS, and there you provide the basic the base CSS basically, which will be applicable throughout all the pages. Like for the header and footer will be look similar, or the text size, or the styles of your any images present, so everywhere it should be present, or any, suppose there is a card component in your application, so look and feel of that should be similar. If you are using any animations, so it should not be look like for one page the animation is different and for another page the animations is different. So throughout the page you write the similar CSS and you keep it in the root CSS file, and later on relate to any component related CSS or any particular suppose there is a thing which should look different, so for that you can write a different CSS, but the base CSS has to be same, which will be applied throughout the page.
Mhm. Okay. See, my next question is, here we have open code editor. You can write the below. What are the hooks you have used in your application? Can you explain with one by one with an example? You can write a syntax of the hooks. You can write a one line of two line of code of the hooks, and what hooks you have used. You can explain it one by
Yeah,
one.
yeah. So basic you will start with the use state. Uh, so the syntax it's used basically to declare a state. So it will return two things basically. Uh, One is state name, for example name, and one a function to update its value. So set name. So as we are using string, so it will be as empty string, but we can provide a default value over here. If it's array, then we can declare array like that. So it's a use state, one is done. One more is use effect. So use effect is used to handle the side effects. So it will accept one function and also the dependency. So dependencies are provided with the array, and here you can write your logic, what you have to perform in the side effect. So this one is use effect. One more is use use reducer I have used. So use reducer will give one function, basically a reducer function. Here we pass the and state and action, and it will perform the logic. Again we have to pass some this, and we save it in the some variable somewhere. So that is use reducer. Use memo. So use memo is used for the memoization of any variable. uh, Use memo is there. I'm forgetting, I mean don't remember the syntax, let me try it. Use memo, it will again it will, we have to pass some function to that. Basically this function will do some heavy calculation, so that's why you use memo, and we pass the dependency. Upon this dependency, this use memo will run, and we store it into the some variable. Similar to use memo, we have use callback. So use callback. Use callback also will return a function basically. It is also used for caching. So, and it also accept dependencies. So depend on the dependency, it will run. It will return some function basically, rather than returning a single variable. So these are the mainly used. Let me try to remember some more used. There is use selector as well. So when we are doing uh, when we are using selector, okay. So use selector is used for when we are doing when we are using Redux toolkit. So that time we have to access the store. So that's how we use. I mean to get the values from the Redux, we use selector.
I mean,
Uh,
okay. So can you tell me, have you created custom hooks?
Custom hooks, yes.
Okay, can you open any online React.js compiler? Can you create the custom hooks like use a fetching API URL? If you want a fake dummy API URL, you can make it a Google. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. Create a fetching API URL.
Let me check the. Can you explain me the question again? I mean the problem statement again. Sorry.
Yeah. Custom hooks like use fetching API URL. What kind of custom hooks you have created?
Use I mean the local storage one.
What local storage one?
Basically, I mean rather than writing local storage everywhere throughout the application, you just use custom hook, use local storage, so that will read the local storage from your uh, browser local storage.
Browser local storage. Okay, go ahead. You can do it. You can create it that and show me how that one will
Okay.
be
Okay.
work it. You can show me that output.
Yeah. So basically here we are, I mean this is the rough version. It was not, I mean there was some more condition or also there. We have to first check if it is present or not. But here I have directly written just to get the local storage get data. And to use them, we import it in our application. I mean in our component. So this way, basically, we utilize this custom hook in our component.
Hmm. Amit, I'm sorry to say you, I'm
Mhm.
actually not understanding this one.
Okay,
If you show me that output, I will understand how it will
okay.
be works. Okay.
Let me just set one local storage over here. Okay.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah,
Mhm.
you can do it.
Six,
Amit, can you
mhm.
please show me that code, whole code?
Yeah, you can see. I mean, there is some. I mean, right now it's not working, but can I just explain it? What I was thinking over
No,
here.
no, no, no need explanation. Okay. You have written only use local storage. Anything you have written code?
Other
This only,
than
right? This only,
yes,
right? You have
yes.
written.
Mm,
This is only your code. Okay,
yeah.
okay, okay. Okay. Have you used Redux in our project?
Yes.
Okay. Can you take a real world example and can you explain the whole scenario of Redux? How it will be works step by step?
You want me to write code or explain it?
No, no, no. You can
Oh,
explain it.
okay.
Take a real time example, live
Mm.
example, and you can explain it. Yeah.
Okay, so basically Redux is used for the sharing the state basically throughout the application. So suppose there is some values you have to share in all the application component, but those components are not related. Like if those components related like parent or child, so you can pass it as a prop. But if they are not related, so Redux has to be used. Uh, Redux basically what happens, we use store as a main source of the data. In store basically we store all the values. So if you take a real example for e-commerce application, generally used as a cart application. So cart is basically used throughout the application. So whenever we are adding some values to the cart, so basically what happens from that particular product page component, we are Adding cart means store means basically you cannot directly change the value inside the store. So you have to dispatch the action. Actions are basically you give some instruction to the Redux store that you have to update this value. So through the dispatch, we are telling the store to the reducer basically, not the store, to the reducer. Reducer are the function; those will update the values from the store. So in cart, basically when we add some product to the cart, we tell a reducer to update the store value and add this product value to the stored cart. So cart will be one store value, and in that we basically add the uh, that product ID and all the or the data, which is done by the reducer, and that is calling is done by the we call it as a dispatch basically. So those are the main component in the Redux. So one is store, one is dispatch, one is action, and uh, everything is combined. We call as a Redux. In any application, we can have multiple reducer, and those are combined into the store basically. So that's our real working example of any Redux store.
Okay, so have you used a pure component?
Which component?
Pure component?
No, no.
No. Okay. So what is the difference between states and props?
So states are basically local data for any component. So the data that we store locally to the component is called as store. Props are basically passed to it from its parent component. So that's the difference. And one more difference is props we cannot change from the child. That is not allowed. And state we can change in locally because it's anyway it's a local data, so we can change it. So that's the main
Mhm.
difference.
So states are the mutable or immutable?
States are mutable.
Mhm.
Props are not.
What is HOC, higher order component?
Yeah, so higher order component basically when we have some requirement or we have to share some code basically. Um, Let me give you first definition. So higher order component basically is a type of component which will accept a prop as a component. I mean, it will accept a component and it will return an enhanced component. So basically it will add some new functionality to it and it will return a new component. So that is used when we have some common functionality. So in that case, what we do, we pass it through the higher order component. So rather than writing this common functionality in each component, we pass those components through higher order component, and it will return a new component with the higher order. I mean, with the enhanced facilities like that.
Mm-hmm. How to make asynchronous API service call?
We in any application we use mainly Redux toolkit. So there we do it in the async. I mean, create async thunk function. So a Redux toolkit will provide one. Uh, we call it as a function only. Basically, the thunk function. So create async thunk. We call the API through that. Other than that, we can do it. I mean, locally as well in component using the fetch directly. But in general application, the async thunk is used.
Mm-hmm. What is the difference between a controlled and uncontrolled component?
Exactly, I'm not sure about that, but let me try. Maybe the control is when we pass some state to it, or so not state, when we pass some props to it. Uh, no, I'm not sure about this. Maybe I'm giving wrong answer here. Not sure about the control.
Mhm. Have you written unit test cases in a React.js?
For React, I did not, but in last project for Vue, I used the. I mean, I write the test cases. Previously, that the requirement was not there, so we did not implement it there.
Mm-hmm. Can you tell me the difference between a dependency and a dev dependency in the package.json file?
Yeah, so in package we have two sections. One is dependency and one is dev dependency. Dependencies is required to run the whole application. Basically, when we do the build, I mean the final build, those dependency, I mean the whichever libraries that we include in the dependency will be also bundled in the final bundle. But the dev dependency are mainly for the development purpose only. They will not go into the production. So those will be not included in the final bundle. So that way we can reduce the some size of bundle also.
Mhm. Okay, can you open online JavaScript compiler?
Yeah,
Okay, can you explain a closure in JavaScript?
yeah. Let me clear this. Okay, so closure. Let me write first example, and then I will be able to explain it more properly. So let me show, I mean, explain it to you, then I will run it. So basically, what here is happening, I'm creating one function called as show name, and in that function, basically, it is returning one function, one more function, which is anonymous function. It don't have any name. So this name declaration is done outside of this function declaration basically. But whenever we run this function on line number 9 here, first we call this show name. So at this time, what it will do, it will return one function to this C variable. Also with that, it will form a closure with this variable. Here it can we have multiple variables as well. So it will form a closure with this variable, and it will bind it to that, and it will also return this to the C variable. And when we run this C function, it will print this variable. Sorry, I forgot. I changed the name over here. Basically, it should be name over here. Okay, so it will form a it basically this function which is anonymous, it can remember this name variable value, so that form as a closure. So let me run over here. Okay,
Okay, yeah.
you can
So,
check. Yeah.
what is the difference between a call, apply, and bind methods in JS?
Okay, basically, call, apply, bind are used to bind any uh, what we say object to a function. So we have to there is some function which is separate from any object. So when we do have to call that function, but to pass a different object over there, so that time we use these methods. The difference between call and apply is to call we pass the argument as a single variables. I mean single we have to pass with the comma separated, but to apply we have to pass it as a array, and those two will run immediately. So when we call a function dot call, it will basically run immediately. But in case of bind, it will return a function, and that function we have to call separately. So that will not run immediately. We have to call it separately.
Hmm. What is event bubbling and event capturing in JS?
Okay, event bubbling basically when we perform some event, so some click event is there or some mouse over is the event. What happens? We have a DOM tree under which each tag is present. Like for example, div tag is present, under that p tag is, under that suppose a button is there. So event bubbling means what happen when we click on that particular button. the event will traverse from child to its total parent, like till the body tag. So it will
Mm.
not just perform the event on the button tag. So that called as event bubbling. And event what was the second one? Event
Capturing.
capturing. Okay. So event capturing is reverse of that. Basically, it will first perform the event capturing on the parent DOM element, and it will come to the child one.
How to stop event bubbling?
Uh, that I don't know.
What is a JavaScript debouncing and throttling?
So basically, JavaScript, I mean, debouncing and throttling are kind of feature you say when we create a search, or mainly is used for search only. So when user is inputting, we have to perform some function, but we cannot perform that function on each keystroke or each input. So we have to stop that function for some second, and then only we have to at the end wait for a second and then perform that function. So that is called event throttling basically. Event what was the second one again? Sorry, event cap no.
Debouncing,
Debouncing.
throttling.
So debouncing is first one that I told. Throttling means you have to run that function after each time interval. No matter if user has stopped giving input or not, that will run after some time interval.
What are object prototypes in JS?
So object prototype means basically JavaScript provides some pre-built function or what we say methods to object. So if you see underscore underscore proto, so you will see some pre-built methods to any JavaScript. So that is prototyping, I guess, but I'm exactly not sure. But mainly with prototyping, what we can do, we can copy one object data to the next object with the prototyping.
Okay, yes, sir. So, what is an immediately invoked function in JS? IIFE, IFE function.
Okay. So generally we call function like this here, what I have mentioned, but immediately involved function means we are declaring the function body inside the function call itself. So that's called as immediately invoked function. So when we are writing a function body, that time only it is getting called.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Can you tell me what are all the latest features you have used from the HTML5? HTML5 features. What are the features you have used?
The semantic tags that we use are HTML5 feature. One more
Mm-hmm.
I can say. um, let me recall. One is we use for taking the basically I don't know its name, but to take the user location, we can write the HTML code itself. I mean, in HTML only. I guess it's called geolocation. From that, it will ask the browser permission to use the location. So that one is again HTML5 feature. The video
Mm-hmm.
tag, the audio tag, those are HTML5 feature. Even though I have not used, I have used video tag, but not the audio.
Okay,
Yeah,
fine.
but those are
So, what is doc type? What is the use of a document type in the HTML page?
okay. So doc type will tell the search engine or any browser that this is a type of HTML page. So that's the main use of doc types to
Can you tell
understand browser.
me
Yeah.
HTML tags and HTML elements? Both are the same things or different things?
Uh, Elements and tags. I guess different thing, a different thing, but I don't know the difference exactly what it
What is the
is.
difference between a block element and inline element?
Okay, so block element will have the margin and padding, but inline will don't have. Also the block element, we write it with the display block, but for inline we write as a display inline. And if we put block element, it will come one after man. I mean, one will come below of one, but in inline it will come one after one. It will just take the width of that particular content into that, and the next it will put next to it. It will not put in the below. For div, it will put the below.
Can you give me the example for a block element and inline element?
Yeah, block is div is a block element. For inline span tag is inline element.
What is the difference between a local storage and session storage?
Local storage I mean, the main difference is basically the persistence of data. Local storage will be there even if the browser is closed, but session storage will be deleted once the browser is closed. To clear the local storage, we have to give the some validity or clear the browser. I mean, manually with the code itself.
What is the pseudo class and pseudo element in CSS?
Pseudo class means when we have to perform, I mean, basically it's denoted with the colon. One example I can give is colon hover. When we have to do some hover effect, we have to give, we write colon hover. That is pseudo class. One more I used has is colon after. So I don't know whether it is pseudo class or pseudo object, but yeah, with the colon we use it. I use the after and before.
What is a box model in CSS?
A box model represent for the all the margin padding, the width, height, all those combined is called a box model to represent any structure of any element in the or any div or any tag, border, margin, padding, width, height, etc.
Okay, so what are the different types of selectors are available in CSS?
Mainly used as class, ID selector, those are mainly used, but we can use uh, like using nth element or using tag itself with the tag name itself or the
Mhm.
child element, multiple way we can
Oh,
select.
do you have an experience in TypeScript?
Yes, basic I have experience.
Mhm. Okay, can you explain the concept of interfaces in TypeScript?
Okay, so interfaces means we define a structure of any particular object basically. So if we are taking some uh, uh, function parameter to any function, or we are declaring one object, so we have to declare a structure in interface, and that we use as a type for that particular object.
Mhm. What is the difference between any, unknown, and never type in TypeScript?
Uh, any and unknown. Basically, any means it will skip the whole type checking for that particular variable. Unknown means it the compiler will basically know that this type is unknown because the unknown itself is one type. And never I don't know about it.
Mhm. Okay, so have you following agile methodology in your project?
Yes.
Okay, tell me what is agile methodology?
So basically, there is a sprint for every 2 weeks, and you have to create, I mean, Jira tickets, and the project manager or the sprint Scrum Master will allow it, I mean, assign it to you, and you have to complete it and update the Jira ticket and give the inputs. I mean, basically following that each sprint structure to each 2 weeks and provide the updates every I mean, alternate weekend.
Hmm.
So that's Agile, following the
Okay.
Agile.
Can you open code editor? Code
Yeah.
editor in
Okay.
Incrutal
Oh,
page. I just pasted some code to you. Can you please
mhm.
write the output? What is the output it returns?
Okay. I don't know about the second one. I don't know about the minus operator, so I'm skipping those two.
Okay. Yes, yeah. Okay, yeah, fine. So I have done from my side. Okay, so I will update the feedback. Okay, so
Okay.
further our HR team will get back you.
Sure, sure. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for your
Yeah.
time. Yeah, have a nice
Bye.
day. Yeah.